Welcome to Beating a Dead Horse, the podcast where we take the things that have been talked to death and talk about them some more. Please submit topics to Twitter at hojjoshMC, hashtag Beating a Dead Horse. The podcast is recorded live at twitch.tv/hojjoshMC, so if you haven't caught one live, come and check it out every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And now, your hosts, Josh and Jonathan. This is Beating a Dead Horse. Alright, guys, welcome to Beating a Dead Horse, episode number 9. I think it's 9.
Is that right?
Here's why I think it was 9. Because I just changed it from saying episode 8 in the dashboard. Well, so surely it's episode 9. I don't
think it's been 8 for a while. I hope not.
Right. So surely episode 9 is where we're at. Anyway, guys, we're glad you're here. If you're for whatever reason new, what are you new? I'm hojjoshMC, or just Josh for the duration of this because it's easier for Jonathan because he's a friend of mine and doesn't particularly call me Hodge or hojjoshMC because that would be weird.
It would be, yeah.
But I am at hojjoshMC on the tweets, and you are at BeachJD on the tweets. You can, in fact, send us both questions, even during the duration of the show, or if you're watching it on YouTube, which is going to be a possibility. You might be watching it after the fact. You can always tweet us topics and things you want to hear us talk about. If not, we do have some show notes in the way. We have them prepared, and we are ready to talk about them at length until we're blue in the face. Because that's what we do here. We talk things to death.
That's true.
But yeah, so you can, in fact, send me anything that you want us to talk about through Twitter, or you can ask it in the chat. I will be sure to let people in the YouTube version know what we're talking about in chat, just so that won't be confusing. We have a pretty big show for you today. I feel like I sound like a talk show host. We got a great show.
Right.
Sting is here. What?
That's right.
I don't know why that was the artist that I went to.
Sting.
It's Sting.
Went all the way back to 1984.
I don't even listen to Sting. But, so in the chat real quick,
we might could afford Sting.
Might could afford it?
Yeah.
You know what, who sounds like, before I get into this, you know who sounds like Sting to me? That Rude song? Who's the singer?
Magic.
Yeah. It sounds like that could be a Sting song if it were back in the day.
That time period, yeah.
Like the music styles sound similar.
That.
Okay, anyway, real quick, shout out to those in the chat. We have Ellie Tessa, JBJ Blaze, Josh T555, and Skew 2012. Welcome, guys. Those are the ones I see in the chat. So thank you for coming out. Thank you for hanging with us. And if you want to get a shout out and you are hearing this on YouTube, why don't you show up? Why don't you just come over? Not to my house, because that's weird, but to Twitch on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Is it Eastern Standard, or is it just Eastern Time right now? Which is the...
I think it's technically Eastern Standard Time.
Eastern Standard Time, and it goes... So it's Eastern Standard Time, and then you get Eastern Daylight Time, or what is it? It switches when you have Daylight Savings Time. It's like EDT then.
I don't know.
I think. Maybe I made that up. Did I make that up?
I'm not sure.
I never know.
If we have any time zone experts in the audience.
If you need time zone experts, what are you doing with your life? All right.
No judgment. I was just,
whatever. Cool.
Everyone needs a hobby.
Everyone needs a hobby. All right, real quick. I moved the show notes, and I don't know where I put them. I put them over here. It may already, in fact, be EDT.
Yeah. Right.
I don't know how time works.
I don't know.
It's a big ball of timey-wimey stuff. That's a Doctor Who reference.
Okay.
I need you to watch Doctor Who.
No. I'll get to it.
We're just going to do the second podcast, which is just you watching Doctor Who.
That's right.
And us talking about it.
It'll be an hour.
I wanted to do that. I wanted to do like a Doctor Who podcast when I first started watching it, and I never did it, and now I've seen the whole show. So
I did see the trailer for the new one.
Womp womp. Oh, it was so good. Peter Capaldi. I'm so excited. Okay. Cool. Well, our first order of business is if you watch the show enough, or just know who I am, then you know, because Jonathan is very similar in a lot of ways, huge Star Wars nerds. Excited about the new Star Wars movie. We've probably talked about the new Star Wars movie in the last, I don't know, probably 7 episodes.
Probably.
I would say it was only on 9, so.
Yeah.
But I mean, from a lot of the episodes, we have probably talked about Star Wars because it's that near and dear to my heart. It's that near and dear to Jonathan's heart.
Absolutely.
We kind of grew up on it, and very excited about the new movies. Well, the big thing that has happened, quote unquote, because we don't know,
Right.
is supposedly there's been some sort of leak of the script, at least part of a script,
Right.
enough to get the gist of what the movie might in fact be about.
Yeah.
And we talked about it earlier today, and I kind of had some mixed emotions about it. But after I read this post that we're going to link, actually I'll go ahead and link it in the chat, and if you're watching on YouTube, it'll be linked down in the description. But as I was reading this thing, which looks like it probably didn't link right, you might have to copy all that. But as I was reading it, I kind of got more excited about it. It actually looks like it linked fine over there. Over here, it doesn't look like it linked right. Anyway, as I was reading it, I got more excited about it.
Yeah.
So basically, here's the deal. And if you don't want to hear this, I'll give you one of these when it's good to turn your volume back up.
That's right.
Because I'm about to just tell you what it's. And you see the link, so you can read it. I'm not going to tell you anything the link doesn't say. And honestly, I don't think the link, I don't think what they said would really spoil anything.
Well, it's not really a script leak either. I mean, not like a dialogue.
No, we don't have dialogue.
It's just more of a framing of kind of how it starts.
I don't think it's any more than you'd get out of a trailer.
No, I don't know. I don't think so.
And so that's what I thought of. When I first saw it, I was like, oh, I don't want to know this. But then I was like, but you know what? I'm going to see trailers for this movie. Trailers give you somewhat of the plot, so I think it's okay. So basically what it seems like, if this is an accurate leak...
Yeah.
Which
is a big if, probably.
We'll probably have our traditional Star Wars crawl.
Yeah.
That tells you something. I don't know what it's going to say, because we don't know the kind of overarching, what's going on in the universe type themes.
Right.
I figure, and you would normally get some political thing at the beginning, what's going on politically in the universe. So I don't know if we'll get that. But then it looks like after the crawl, we pan to, I would assume we pan to, because that's a very Star Wars-esque thing to do,
right.
Pan from the crawl.
Exactly.
But supposedly a severed hand, clutching Luke Skywalker's classic green lightsaber, kind of floats through the frame. And that then falls on to some planet, to a sandy planet, supposedly Tatooine, where 2 people pick it up, and there are new protagonists, and they realize it as a Jedi weapon, and so that takes them off-world to figure out where it belongs, whereupon they run into a Han and Chewie, who are no longer apparently piloting the Millennium Falcon.
Mm-hmm.
They're piloting something else, which this article insinuates would be a spoiler.
Right.
And Han says they haven't seen Luke in 30 years, which has been how long it's been since Return of the Jedi.
Right.
So, a couple of things. One, I was freaking out because I'm like, how the heck does a hand survive going through a planet's atmosphere? And then you pointed out the hand doesn't have to, just the lightsaber. Right. And being that the lightsaber, like you pointed out to me, is set up to withstand a lot of stuff, being that it's a lightsaber.
Right. Well, again, this is all just me going back on the fictional nature of the lightsaber.
Right. And so, that makes sense. So maybe the lightsaber falls. Maybe these 2 people pick it up. That's fine. That's a good way. It's not quite the thing that I wanted, I don't think. Because I kind of read some of the books as I was younger, and I really wanted that, the Jedi Order is back and Luke Skywalker started up. But it seems like if this is true, then Luke's kind of been incognito for the past 30 years.
Yeah, and I think they said early on that they weren't going with any sort of...
Oh yeah, they shut the expanded universe down.
They expanded that down, so,
So, I don't know, I'm kind of
excited
stoked.
either way. I mean, I think it's an interesting move, at least. I mean, I felt like the fact that Han hasn't seen Luke in 30 years is an interesting.
It's odd. I don't know how I feel about it.
So that's an interesting tidbit, but I also don't know if this is actually the opening of the movie or if this is, another point even. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's.
From the article that I was reading, it seemed like it would be the opening.
Yeah, it makes it out and seem like it would be the.
So I don't know. I'm excited. I mean, I'm excited about any Star Wars, and like we talked about last week, Kevin Smith talking about it just kind of sealed. Like I want to see this movie.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know. At first, I think I had a fanboy moment where I was like, ugh, that's garbage. But I think after reading it more again and thinking about it, it's kind of cool. I kind of like it, and I'm interested to see if it's true. Why no one's seen Luke in 30 years? Like, why is that a thing?
Yeah, no, I agree.
Which I mean, there are tons of reasons. I mean, he just reconciled with his father and burnt him in the same night. I could see it, but I don't know.
Yeah.
And then how the heck did he lose a hand? Which we were assuming is his robot hand that he lost.
Right, and that's
rather than losing both hands.
Yeah.
Though, if he did lose both hands, that would be interesting to put him be even more like Darth Vader as far as having two fake hands. Like that's an interesting pull.
Well, I mean, it's already kind of an interesting. The one thing I did kind of appreciate, and if this is actually the opener, is the fact that you've almost got a New Hope-ish type vibe with it, like the whole going off to find somebody type thing.
Yeah.
Except it's Luke instead of Obi-Wan, but
and the new guy, the new main character guy, is like a guy who's trying to change his path in life, and which makes sense. And
so I appreciate the mirroring there, if that is
it's true.
The case.
And then some other stuff was that someone apparently is working on a weapon that would not destroy a planet, but would destroy a whole solar system.
Right.
Which is another kind of cool tie back, if it's true, into the series.
Yeah.
Either way, I think J.J. Abrams will do it justice.
Yeah.
And it makes me more and more excited. I'm more and more excited every time I read something about this movie. He released a video this week where he's standing beside a freaking X-wing, and I
awesome.
peed my pants in excitement. I didn't even listen to the video. I just watched it. I'm like, that's an X-wing. It's an X-wing, and a remodeled X-wing at that. They're different looking, which is cool. It makes sense. They're 30 years and they perfected the X-wing. Right. I get it. But I'm soaked. I'm sold.
Absolutely.
Let me shut up and take my money.
I just want a teaser trailer. It doesn't have to have any footage. I just want something with the logo and the music.
Just the music and the logo.
It's fine. Just something that can
just to tide me over. Just a little snack, a little Star Wars snack.
Just a little bit. Just something with music.
Oh man, good times. Okay, well let's see what we got next. We're gonna talk some tech news a little bit, real quick. So. You and I, both iPhone fans, we've mentioned it before on the show. I know there are people here that are Android, and that's fine. You've made a mistake, but okay. Start the flame wars now.
That's right. And the comments begin.
Right, and the comments begin. But the iPhone 6 is looming over us. Will probably be here in a few months.
Yeah.
It's looking like September.
September-ish, yeah.
According to who you trust, some people say they're both going to be here in September. Some people still saying there's been problems with the 6, the 5-inch one, and it's going to be later in the year, maybe next year. But then some other places are reporting still both of them.
Well, the Wall Street Journal seems to think both of them are coming at once, and I feel like it's a fairly usually know what's going on, but I don't know.
I know they were having battery issues. That was one of the big things. They were having problem getting batteries, but that's been fixed. Which the battery, I don't know if this is how they've always been, but it's flexible.
Yeah.
It's like a flexible. Has it been that way, or is that a new thing?
I think they've always been a little flexible. As to whether or not it's as flexible as what they are now, I don't know.
So I don't know. And then again, it's all rumors, but you hear the new battery is just going to make it for the big screen, and it's not really going to give you that much juice. But then I'm reading reports now that are saying it probably maybe a 15% jump in battery life.
Well, I think there's a possibility that it could be a little more battery life. I mean, whenever the iPad Air came out, it was actually a little smaller battery, but the iPad Air still has better battery life than the original. So I think a lot of it has to do probably with if the A8 is kind of the processor, if it's a a more energy efficient processor it could possibly.
Yeah,
lead.
I know how much Apple likes to be like, oh, this is what the battery life is.
Yeah.
And they like to one-up themselves. And so that, to me, feels like, even if it's just minute, like, if it was like, 5 or 10%, like, they're still going to want to, rock that.
Well, the other thing, too, is I think, if memory serves me right, I think they were talking about that there's only one, like, backlighting deal with the display as opposed to two with the S. So that could also be a possible energy savings. But I don't know,
Who knows? I'm excited, though.
Practically any phone will be better than the battery life currently on my.
You know what?
4S,
my phone too. Mine over here is. You see, it's plugged in right now.
Yeah, I know.
The reason why is because I was in the living room earlier, and it doesn't hold a charge like it used to. I mean, she's getting old. She's ready to retire. But like, I was sitting in the living room, and it was at like 30%, and then it was just dead.
Yeah.
And it was just. I was like, what?
Well, mine gets to like 20% and just shuts off.
Yeah, but that's what. It wasn't even in the red yet, though.
Like, you're done. That's it.
It wasn't even in the red yet. It was still like 30%. It's just like, nope, done, tired, going to sleep.
I mean, mine is. Let's see. I mean, it's getting up there. Almost 3 years old, I guess.
Right. So, and then this cord is so short. Like, we're looking right now. Like, we found this site that's like selling like 10-foot long cords.
Yeah.
For like 2 for $10 or something.
Right.
And they're like braided, so apparently they won't like mess up or anything. I really want one. Because I need one. I will say, like, that one commercial that came out making fun of like Apple people being like wall huggers, it's so true.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's I don't know. It's a little contextual too, because I feel like people are probably doing a lot more on their phone in some cases.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Not in every case, because I mean, some of the Android stuff is better battery life for sure. So,
I don't know. I'm just excited. I mean, we're both at the point where we're just ready for a new phone. So
yeah,
like,
I'm just ready to buy something.
Anytime Apple would love to just give me a product to buy, I'll take it.
That's right.
I'll rock with it. That's fine. I'm cool. The other thing you told me about, and I don't really know anything about it. Just you told me about it. But apparently the rumor is it a rumor or is it like confirmed?
Well, the people that actually hired are looking or are in the process of hiring 100,000 extra people to produce the iPhone, and so I'm guessing by slicing those numbers that they've arrived at what is the supposed manufacturing target for the iPhone 6,
which is, give me that number.
Okay, so this is supposedly combined the 4.7 and the 5.5 inch, but supposedly they're looking to build 80 million
80
phones.
80 million phones.
Which, I mean, supposedly they built 50 million of the 5S.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair though, I don't know, you don't remember the number off the top of your head, but you were telling me like how many iPhones they sold like this quarter. Wasn't it like 30?
It's like 35 million. Yeah,
so if they've sold this quarter 5 million or 30 million iPhones, I don't think 80 million of a new one is like a bad idea.
No, I mean, it's, to me, it's crazy that even when this other phone is like a couple months away, they still managed to sell 35 million iPhones. It's staggering to me.
That blows my mind. I wonder how many of those are just old people finally catching up.
Well, I think a lot of it is actually other countries. It's not it's not U.S. market yet. I mean, China's been a fairly huge boom.
Really?
For them, yeah. Well, according to the
I don't think the bigger phones are like more popular, like in Japan and stuff. The iPhone's not super popular in Japan.
Well, you figure that China just got the iPhone, legally got the iPhone,
right?
Just a year ago. Well, the interesting thing too is it's not even that. I think the Middle East actually grew like by 60% this past year. So I mean, that's another growth market. It'd be interesting to see. I mean, they sold like 9 million the first 3 days when they released the 5S. So when the 6 comes out, it's going to be like 15 million phones in a weekend. So
they make so much money, and they just sit back and bathe in their money.
It's
ridiculous.
Insane.
It's ridiculous.
There's a lot of B's, a lot of usually you get the millions of dollars, but no, all there's just billions.
So stupid. Makes so much money.
So $35 billion just this quarter.
35 billion?
Yeah.
With a B?
With a B.
God. All right. Well, Apple. Fun stuff. Sorry if you're into Android, like, we don't know anything about that. And I just realized, and I shouldn't point this out, because then I'm going to keep thinking about it, and you're going to keep thinking about it. But, like, I'm wearing a black shirt, my beard is really dark. If I'm, like, sitting just the wrong way, like, I don't have a neck, like, I'm just a head.
Just disappeared.
That's kind of weird. I didn't stop doing that. Let's just sit up here and pull that down. Oh, now I look really pale. Okay, so if you notice the shirt I'm wearing, I'll pull it up here. This is from Loot Crate. It is a mixture of Joker and Loki put together. It says Jokey, which I feel weird saying Jokey. But I got it from Loot Crate. I don't have any other Loot Crate stuff sitting around. I have some stuff back here that is Loot Crate that you can't see. Like some pins and some keychains. Basically, my point in saying all that is if you want a shirt like this, because this shirt's actually pretty awesome, you should be signed up for Loot Crate. Which we're not sponsored by them or anything. I am, but like we're not.
Yeah, we're not.
But yeah, if you aren't already getting Loot Crate, they just started shipping to like more countries now. They ship to a lot more countries. Let me look it up real quick. Loot Crate. Let's see. Of course, it's gonna take forever, right? Does it say how it works? Maybe. Let's see. No, it doesn't. But they are shipping to more places. It's probably on their FAQ, but I don't feel the need to like search for it right now. But Loot Crate is pretty awesome. It's basically a box subscription service. Each month you get an awesome item, a bunch of awesome items that are pretty much like the way I describe it to people is like I'm a nerd, been a nerd since way back. Been, this is the stuff that I like is, there's superheroes and I don't know, all that stuff. Right. Each month I get a box full of awesome nerdy things. This shirt was one this month. There was an exclusive variant cover of a comic book, which if you're into comic books, you know what that means. If you're not, basically you have a comic that comes out, and it comes out in the first print, and it looks all one way, and then you have variant covers that come out, and there only is so many of them, and they look different. It's the same comic, but it's just a different cover. Right. So one of the ones this month was a variant cover of the new Rocket Raccoon series that Marvel is doing, which of course they're doing. They're doing, for the new movie and stuff. It came in like wrapped. It's never been opened. It's pretty awesome. Keychains. I get a keychain like every month. I got so many keychains. Stickers sometimes. I've gotten a book before. I've gotten like a Transformer toy, a bunch of Transformer stuff. Like, it's just crazy. It's fun. So if you're into that sort of thing, you can go to lootcrate.com/hojjoshMC, and you can use the code hojjoshMC for 10% off your first crate. So it is cool. This shirt, this thing, if you put it all together, this crate, they said it all valued at like $45, which you pay like 20 something dollars, I think, once all said and done. If you're in the U.S., I think it is different for other places, because they are shipping from California. But it's a fantastic service, and this month was Villains. Next month is Heroes, which I'm super excited about, because the Villains crate is probably one of my favorite crates so far. Mm-hmm. And so Heroes, I'm hoping and praying it's got another comic in it, because I just started collecting comics, which I have like a pile over there. But I just started collecting comics, so like I'm super about it. So like more comics, I'm cool with. I would be into that. But yeah, if you do choose to sign up, then do use lootcrate.com/hojjoshMC and use hojjoshMC as your code to get you 10% off the first crate. Not all of them, just the first one. And it helps me out, so that's cool. You can do that. So I guess kind of by proxy helps us out.
True.
Sure. Cool. All right, so that's enough of Loot Crate. But yeah, awesome shirts. Awesome shirts are the main reason. Like, if I never had to wear like a normal, like just one colored shirt again ever, I'd be fine with that. I could rock graphic tees the whole rest of my life. And I'd feel perfectly okay with it.
Understand that completely.
Oh, you know what else came in this month's box? Deadpool socks. I'm not wearing them right now. But it came with Deadpool socks, which I'm super stoked about.
That's awesome.
So next time I go home to my parents' house and I have to like dress up, I'm totally wearing my Deadpool socks. So they're like, you can't wear white socks. I'm like, fine, I'll wear Deadpool. Socks. Wear my Deadpool socks. So in the world of shows, not a lot on right now. It's the summer.
Yeah.
But one show that I have been watching and you have been watching is The Leftovers.
Yep.
And so I'm loving The Leftovers. You loving The Leftovers?
I am, yeah.
I'm confused as crap.
Yeah, it's getting progressively more confusing with every episode, but I kind of anticipated that was going to be the case. But
yeah.
It's not. I understand why some people don't like the show, but I think it's well done. At least you don't really know what's going on. I mean, like, I kind of appreciate that aspect of it to a certain extent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not predictable. I'll give it that.
I've heard it described as like Lost grew up.
Yeah, I mean, to a certain extent, I think.
I mean, it's not as supernatural as Lost yet.
Yeah.
I'm putting a hard yet.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to ruin too much because if you haven't seen it, but there's a guy and he does something that we don't know yet if it's supernatural because we haven't experienced it on screen. We don't exactly know, but there's definitely like a supernatural quality to what's going on, and like there's like a baby involved, and that's the whole thing. And so that's why I say it's not supernatural yet.
Yeah, I think we're probably eventually going to end up.
But some stuff though, like okay, so last week's episode was, you know what I just realized? We never thumbsed up for people about Star Wars, but that's probably okay.
Yeah.
Whoops. If not, Star Wars.
You don't have any iPhone.
They probably quit watching.
Yeah,
they just like, no,
screw it.
This is too much Star Wars.
That's right.
Sorry.
We linked the first 35 pages.
The first 35 pages. We read them verbatim.
Exclusively here.
Don't say that. You get a cease and desist from J.J. Abrams for something that didn't happen.
That's right. We love you, J.J.
Oh, man. What was I talking about? Oh, Leftovers. Okay, so last week, and it's probably to be a little spoilery, but I don't care. I don't. So I was watching last week. Christopher Eccleston, by the way. Any Doctor Who fans? I know we got one. I know Ellie. She was talking about earlier. Ellie Tessa. She's a Doctor Who fan. I am myself a Whovian. Very excited for the new season. But I digress. Christopher Eccleston is in the show, and he was in Doctor Who. Sorry, that was a long way to get to. You haven't seen Doctor Who at all. No. Christopher Eccleston, the pastor guy, the preacher guy, was Doctor Who in the first of the reboot when they brought it back.
Right.
And I think, and I say this a lot, and I'm not sure if I believe it sometimes, but in this moment I feel it, so I'm going to say it. But I think he could have been the best Doctor. I don't think that he was, because he only got a season. And I don't mean to like fire him or anything. He quit doing it, but he only had one season, and I really think he could have been one of the best Doctors. Because he was like an angry Doctor. Like all the other Doctors have been kind of funny, and he was funny and kind of zany, but very angry.
Mm-hmm.
Like made fun of humans all the time, which I dug. I think he could have been one of the good ones. And I didn't think that until I got towards the end of his run. And there's some stuff with him and Rose, the companion, that just like gets me in the feels every time.
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, such a good show. If you ever want to watch it, let me know. I will watch it all over again.
I'll eventually get there.
But he's in it, and he's so good. So good. And last week, I'm sorry, guys. Last week, he had this point that I won't tell you everything about it, but it involved birds. And it was so weird. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
They're basically like, there are these birds that, like, essentially were telling him what to do. But, like, not. They would just, like, land on something that was meaningful.
They would just show up to kind of,
But, even in buildings.
Yeah.
And I was like, that is weird to me. It almost reminded me, and this is what scares me, because it's Damon Lindelof, and he's such a big part of Lost, and there were so many things in Lost that didn't get answered. Like, I just wonder, like, Walt had a thing with birds in Lost.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of wonder, am I never gonna get this bird thing explained? Like, I need this bird thing explained.
Right. I anticipate we're probably not going to get a real good explanation of the birds.
And then I'm like, is this gonna? I get worried because it's from one book. It's not a book series, is it? It's one book.
It's one book, my knowledge.
So, I'm worried they're only gonna give me one season. Because I feel like this is a show that if it gets one season, I'm not going to know jack.
Yeah, I don't know how much they're stretching it out. I mean, I know there are characters in the TV show that are not in the book.
Okay, yeah. I need to read... I read or saw an article with the author of the book talking about how they reworked it. So, I don't know.
I mean, I know he's working with Lindelof, so, like, I don't...
I just...
It doesn't seem like it would be probably more than a couple season show to me, but I don't know.
Yeah. That's a bummer, because I feel like it could be... This is basically what's happened. I love Lost so much. Yeah. Lost was such a good show to me. And ever since Lost, I've been looking for my next Lost.
Right.
And there's been times that I thought I had it, and then it went away.
Yeah.
For example... For a while, I kind of thought that, like, fake reality show, the one where they were, like, Siberia.
Oh, Siberia.
I thought Siberia could be it, but it wasn't, like, really deep enough.
Yeah.
But, like, something like The Leftovers could totally be it. That could be my next Lost. But I don't know, because it's HBO, if it's going to get that kind of run. I know it could, because how long has Boardwalk Empire been on? Too long. Yeah. Too long. I haven't watched any of it, but it's been on a long time.
Yeah, I mean, what's True Blood on now?
True Blood is on season 7.
So,
I mean, 7 seasons.
It's a possibility. I mean, 7 seasons is a pretty solid run.
For real.
I feel like 5 seasons is a pretty solid run.
Yeah, how many did Lost get? 6?
6.
6 seasons?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. It could be. What I kind of hope is that they'll kind of take what they got and what's already there in the book, knock out the first season, and then just let Damon Lindelof have fun.
Well, the other thing I don't know, I mean, HBO kind of has a habit of, like, a season being, like, 6 episodes. Like, I don't know, like, how many episodes are going to be in this season.
They've been doing mostly 10.
So, I mean, they haven't been moving super fast. I mean, like,
no.
So they may be able to stretch it out. I don't know.
One book, like the book, take more than one season?
Yeah, I think it's a possibility. I mean, I don't feel like it's badly paced or anything, but it is. I mean, it's not a fast-moving.
No, it's
show
not.
By any means.
I felt like I needed to nap after I finished watching it.
Yeah.
So Leftovers is cool. A show that I'm getting excited about. We didn't put this in the notes, but I want to talk about it for a minute. I'm really excited for the Newsroom again.
Oh
Do
yeah.
we? When is that coming back?
Soon.
Soon, really?
Or supposedly, but I haven't heard a date.
So this year?
That's what I heard originally, but I don't know.
Here I was thinking I was gonna have to wait another year for the Newsroom.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I thought that they had said 2014, but I don't know.
Either way, it's the last season, which makes me sad.
Yeah, it is a bummer.
Because I started watching The West Wing again. Oh my gosh.
It's such a good show.
I need more Aaron Sorkin in my life.
I'm telling you, The West Wing is so good.
It's so good. I love Aaron Sorkin. Anyway,
the Steve Jobs movie's coming at least. That's another Sorkin.
Yeah, I need him on television. I need long-term Aaron Sorkin.
Yeah.
Like at least because I know he didn't do all of The West Wing because he left after season 4.
4.
So that's fine. I need 4 solid seasons of a Sorkin something.
Yeah.
Because man, West Wing is so good and there's so many feels, and it's good. We need to talk about West Wing. Not here, just you and I need to talk about West Wing.
That could be a whole episode.
A whole episode about the West Wing. So, ComicCon is soon.
That's right. This week.
This week.
Yeah. Which
is nuts. ComicCon, always a big time for news and that sort of things in the world of nerddom. Incidentally, if anybody here is going to San Diego Comic-Con and would like to stand in whatever ungodly line you're going to have to stand in to get the new Jurassic World poster, We would like to.
That's right. I'll send you a check.
We'll pay you. He'll pay you in money. I'll pay you in internet hugs, or his money.
Or
that's right. We'll pay you in a mug that has yet to be designed.
That's right. Hey, there you go. We'll send you a mug
when they're made. But for real though, San Diego is a long way away from me and from Jonathan because we live in the same place. And Jurassic World has a poster. It's exclusive to ComicCon, and I want it so hard.
I know.
And I need it bad. There's a link that'll be in the show notes if you're watching on the tubes. And if you're not, I'm going to link it right here. I'm going to put it in the chat right there. So some things that are kind of interesting about this picture is basically that it is a kind of very cool art print for one.
Yeah.
But in the background, you see kind of what we know to be the park.
Yeah.
The theme park that has happened.
The new park.
Yeah, this is all on the original island. So it's supposedly everything's back together now and everything's working and the park is working as it was designed to. But yet we have here a raptor out in the foreground here, and a turned over Jurassic Park Jeep, I'm assuming, from the original.
Yeah.
And there's a nest of eggs in it, which to me feels like another Nature Finds a Way, which is what I expected it to be.
Right.
But then maybe these are the same raptors, or at least not the same, but like from the same set of raptors, which is exciting.
I mean, I kind of feel like that's what the poster's insinuating, but I think it's pretty cool if there's a possibility of these things just, in the wild, just...
Yeah, like maybe they don't know they're there.
I mean, yeah.
I'm so excited.
It's pretty awesome.
I'm so excited. But anyway...
The poster's gorgeous, though.
Get us one of them posters. 2 of them posters.
That's right. 2.
If you're out in the San Diego Comic-Con, get it for us. You mentioned... And there is always big news at Comic-Con, but you mentioned to me that Disney's not going to have a presence at all.
Yeah, Disney Studios does not have a main, hall event.
Which is interesting.
It is interesting. I mean, I suppose a lot of their baskets are with Marvel and Star Wars, which I knew Star Wars wasn't going to have anything.
Yeah, Marvel totally could, though.
Marvel, I'm sure, will have something. But it is a little odd, because, they do have stuff coming out.
Yeah.
So I thought that was an interesting omission. But...
Yeah, because Once Upon a Time's got that big following, right?
Well, Once Upon a Time, I think the TV stuff is going to be there.
Okay, so just
but
not
still like the film.
Oh, okay, not the films.
Like Disney Studios.
Oh, but that one movie would have been perfect for Comic-Con. The original one they're doing with the heroes, but it's it's not Pixar, it's Disney, I think, or maybe it is Pixar. Was it what's that new movie coming out? The new Disney movie. I can't remember what it's called. The Mighty something or the Big something. You're
talking about the Big Hero 6?
Yeah, the Big Hero 6. That thing.
Yeah.
They could have done that. That would have been perfect for Comic-Con.
Yeah, it would be.
Oh, well.
They may decide to do it, but they're not doing a main hall thing like they normally do.
All right. Well, so no Disney.
That's right.
Which I quickly turned into a parody of No Diggity as we were preparing the show. Real quick, speaking about Comic-Con, there is a post on Reddit that kind of made my heart happy. I'm going to post it in the chat, and it'll be in the show notes as well. But basically, so this is a cool story. This guy posted to Reddit and was like, hey, I'm really poor, I don't have a job, but I have tickets to Comic-Con. So should I sell these tickets? Basically, so I can take care of my life and, get my stuff together and all this stuff. And all these people were, offering him money and stuff for him. But then one user basically said, he wrote this long post about how, I understand, you gotta take care of your life and, you want to be responsible and be an adult. But on the other hand, Comic-Con is such an experience and you should probably experience that once in your life. So he's like, I'll make you a deal. If you promise to go to Comic-Con, I'll give you $300. And so, yeah, and he said, you know, I'm going to be on the road to ComicCon for myself in 4 hours. And if you post within 4 hours from now, I'll PayPal you $300, or I can send it Western Union. And go to Comic-Con and enjoy it. And you won't have to worry about money.
Nice.
And I was like, oh, that's so sweet. And now I want to see if it actually took it. So I don't know if it happened though. I don't know. I'll have to keep in touch. I have to keep looking. But yeah, he was like, yeah, I'll send you the money and you can go to Comic-Con and enjoy it and don't have to worry about it.
That's
and
awesome.
I'm just like, man. And then Reddit exploded with like, when I see you guys there, I'm going to buy you drinks. And Reddit's like, I'm going to buy you a drink. I'm going to buy you a drink. And so, like, if these guys get to Comic-Con and, like, meet up, they're going to get hammered because...
That's right. Everybody's buying them drinks.
But it's so cool. Like, it's such a... That's a neat thing. It's a cool thing to do because the guy was really like, oh, look, I got to take care of stuff. And so I'm going to be the adult, and grown up, buy Comic-Con tickets. And the guy's like, no, don't do that to yourself. Go to Comic-Con. And that's cool. That makes me happy. We've been rambling, but we got a couple more things to talk about. A little bit longer than we normally go, but that's fine.
That's all right.
My voice is starting to go. I'm going to take a sip of this water real quick. Okay, so we like to talk about movies. We both like movies. Both of us have finally now seen the new Planet of the Apes movie.
Yes, indeed.
How much thought about it?
I thought it was excellent. I go into it and thinking I would probably going to enjoy it, but I thought it was really, really well done. I told you, like, there were several points where you kind of forget that these are all, like, digital apes. I mean, it's the CG is pretty fantastically
Spot
done.
on. Especially, I went back and watched Rise, and like it's kind of crappy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like, it's obviously like a CG monkey, like in Rise, but like, this to me, it was just incredible, especially in sections that like you would think it wouldn't hold up. Because there's a lot of darker scenes, like nighttime deals, but even with that, it's still just it's worlds better. I feel like in CG quality than the first one.
Andy Serkis, man, that dude.
The guy's crazy.
I saw some pictures.
I'm really curious to see what he's going to do about Star Wars. Not to bring Star Wars back up.
Right. I saw some pictures of him. Like, here's the face he was making, and then here's what Caesar was doing, and it was like 1-to-1.
Yeah.
It was disgusting. But in like
crazy.
a really good way. Like, this guy's super talented.
For sure.
I loved it. I don't want to talk too much about the plot because you should go see it. It's so good. But basically, what I liked was I like sci-fi that has something to say, which I feel like we've gotten away from.
Yeah.
We've had sci-fi. We've had good sci-fi, but I want sci-fi that has a message, that has like some underlying things. And with this one, I felt like it was all about like why do we go to war? Like how does war happen? Without going into the plot too much, it was so good. Just like, the miscommunications, like little things that are miscommunicated that can just blow up and become an all-out war.
Yeah.
Or how one bad egg can like just ruin everything. So good. Coming up soon is Guardians of the Galaxy, which I am
super excited about.
So excited about. I don't really have any. There's no news about it. I just wanted to actually just get it out there.
Yeah.
That I'm excited for it. It's coming. It's soon.
Yeah, it's next weekend.
Oh crap! Is it actually next weekend?
Yeah.
Right on. Okay, so next weekend, Guardians of the Galaxy, and then the next weekend,
That's right.
the new Turtles movie, the new Ninja Turtles movie. Did we decide? Is it actually Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, or is it just like Mutant Ninja Turtles?
I think it's Teenage Ninja Mutant. I think it's the full thing.
Ninja Turtles. Let's see. Yeah, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, 2014 film.
Yeah, because they have the TM in
TMNT.
Yeah, and the logo.
They just do have Teenage Mutant really small on the poster.
Yeah, they do.
That's what threw me off. It's super small.
Yeah, Ninja Turtles is definitely
Okay, well, here's the thing.
Josh is very excited.
Well, okay, I'm not like super excited, and I know going into it, there's a couple of things. I know going into it, it's gonna be Michael Bay. I know that, and I know everything that comes with that.
Yeah.
Here's what worries me. I didn't hate the first Transformers movie.
No, I didn't hate the first Transformers movie.
And honestly, I didn't really hate the second Transformers movie. I thought he made some bad choices, but I didn't hate it. And I'm really afraid that I'm going to go see Turtles, and I'm going to love it, and it's going to be complete schlock. Like, that's what I'm really afraid. I'm gonna look at it and know that it's crappy, but I'm going to love it. That's what I'm worried about.
Well, even if you do, then you'll still have me here to be on the other side of the equation.
I guess that's true.
That's all right.
And
I think my problem is, like, I went and saw the fourth Transformers movie finally, just to confirm my suspicions.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is like the first Transformers movie was not a bad movie for what it was.
Right.
But for it's like, it's literally the same movie.
Right.
With different cast members. I mean, like, it's...
That's a little what I'm worried about with this.
And to me, whenever the trailer came out, I was already worried that he was doing it anyway. I mean, to be honest, I would much rather see probably anybody else's take on it. But, like, like, Shredder just looks like a Transformer to me, almost. Mm-hmm. Everything about it. Just, I don't know. Maybe it's just because I had too much. Yeah, that is surprising too. But I think there's just so much of it that it's just, like, it's like the shots are the same, or, like, literally if you were to line the Transformers trailer next to it, if you just replace the Transformer with a Ninja Turtle, it would be the same.
Yeah. That's Michael Bay, though, because...
Yeah, I know. I think I'm just tired of Michael Bay.
Because there's that shot in The Island that he just reused. Like, not even he reused, like, the way the shot was set up. He reused the footage. It's like a highway scene from The Island for Transformers.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that's...
The only difference is there's a Transformer in the middle of it.
Yeah, that's the only difference. That's what I'm saying, is, like, he's going to set up the same sorts of shots because that's just what Michael Bay does.
No, I get all that.
I will say this. The Island is good.
No, yeah, we've talked about, like, The Island I like.
And so, using that line of thinking, if The Island is good and Transformers is crappy, and they use some of the same shots, feasibly, Turtles could be good.
Well, but the thing that makes Island good is it's actually, like, a story that's not the same. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, here's why I think it might be okay. But I would say this about Transformers 2, and he butchered that. It's based on something that... Well, actually, no. Turtles is more of this. It's based on something that in and of itself is already utterly ridiculous.
Yeah. Well,
like, it's utterly ridiculous that anything would happen to a bunch of turtles to, one, make them eternally teenagers, to grow them up big and have them be trained by a rat.
Yeah.
Like, everything's ridiculous about that. They eat pizza. Why? Who knows? So, it could be that this might be just the perfect storm of ridiculousness that Michael Bay doesn't have to make it more ridiculous.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from.
Because Transformers, while silly that it's like robots that are like aliens that look like things here, like, that's kind of silly, but I feel like he took some extra strides to add comedy in. But historically, the Ninja Turtles have already been like that sort of comedy. Because they're teenagers, they've already been that sort of like, let's make fun of each other, and
right.
I feel like he could get his like childish jokes out and it'll be okay because it comes from the Ninja Turtles.
No, yeah, I get it's a valid point.
I could be totally wrong, and it could be awful.
It's a valid point. I'm probably not going to make it through it.
I know. I'm just worried. Like I said, I'm worried I'm going to love it, and then Jonathan's not even my friend anymore. That's what's going to happen. So then it goes to one person on the podcast.
The outcome of Teenage Mutant would not be the reason.
And then real quick in the chat, JBJ, he mentioned this earlier. You were surprised that Michael Bay and Megan Fox are working together again, and so am I.
Yeah, it's surprising.
Because she did compare him to Hitler, which I'm one to drop the H-bomb. I use that quite a bit.
The H-bomb.
And yeah, she got kicked off of Transformers 3. That's fine. Yep, that happened. And she's like, oh, he's Hitler, and never work with him. He's a pervert, and all these things. I've said this for a long time. I don't know why Megan Fox was surprised that Michael Bay was the way he was, especially now that we know like how he got her to audition for the role.
Yeah,
it was like, hey, put on this bathing suit and wash my car. Like, look, you know that dude's a perv. Like, you know it going into it.
Yeah. I mean,
so the fact that he was like gross and hard to deal with after that, like, I feel like she should have known that. Yeah. And then, when she said the things that she said, and then she didn't do anything, and now she's back with him. Because here's the thing, and we talked about this last week, or last time we had a show, Michael Bay's movies make money. I mean, Transformers, which critics hated, they panned the new Transformers movie. Like, really bad.
And it
made stupid amounts of money. Like, stupid.
Yeah.
And it's why we'll have another Transformers movie. I don't care what you say. We're going to have another one, and it's your fault. It's your fault. Did you watch it? It's your fault.
That's right.
It's your fault, actually.
It is my fault. Yeah.
You're part of the problem.
I am, yeah.
The man's weird. We know that he's weird. And so that can go both ways with movies. It can make them awesome, or it can make them awful.
You know, this is the thing, though. Like, we talked about this earlier in the week, but you know, movies that require you to think, I would say the majority of the time don't make the kind of money that Transformers makes,
right,
that the Fast and Furious franchise makes. Which is not to say all the Fast Furious movies are bad or anything like that, but
right.
I mean, it's a fairly predictable. There's going to be cars that go fast and
careful now.
Explosions.
I love Fast and Furious.
I know. I'm treading lightly.
Tread lightly.
But you get what I'm saying. Like,
yeah, no, I know what you mean.
It's not like it's a certain genre.
Yeah.
Of, like, let's blow crap up and fast
for
cars.
Sure.
And, not that I'm against any of those things, but I would say systematically those movies make more money than, like, you know, Monuments Men or some, like, you know, based on real life,
yeah, for sure,
movie with a message type thing.
That's true.
It's just, I think, just usually how it is. People want to go to the movies and they don't want to think about
lowest common denominator stuff. Always. I mean, just look at it. I mean, Transformers makes a buttload of money, and I don't know how Edge of Tomorrow did, but I don't still hear people talking about it.
Yeah.
But it was good.
Sure.
But it was more of a thinker.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's...
I don't think Edge of Tomorrow did fantastically.
Levels anyway.
No.
But, you know, that's just how it is. It is. It's lowest common denominator, man. You put out something that's going to appeal to the broadest market in the broadest sense. And that's why he makes money. And he makes money because dudes like to see things blow up. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And it's fine. And kids have Transformers. There's a built-in, marketing with that. So that's a whole thing. I mean, you have people that grew up with Transformers want to see it. Kids that have been playing with Transformers. Even this is the thing. There were Transformers toys when there was not a Transformers show or movie.
Oh yeah.
Transformers is so ingrained into the culture that it's been around for forever. And so kids know Transformers before the movies, and so they're like, "Oh, sweet! They're making movies out of my toys." Even though they don't get, like, those toys came from a show that, like...
Yeah, well, you're kind of in, like, at least here lately, there's been a trend of, like, board games to movies. And
right.
Some of which have really terrible results, but it's an interesting move.
Yep, makes sense. So that's about all. That's all we had on our notes. I have one more thing that I'll save for the end. If there's any questions... from you guys in chat, if you want to go ahead and put those in the chat, we'll look at those and see if we can answer them real quick for you. Go ahead and send them that way. I'm laughing at JBJ's tweet. He says, "You missed beating a dead horse with hojjoshMC and Beach JD. You must be Hitler." Oh man,
no good.
I like having inside jokes. That's fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
So, any questions, real quick? So, okay, JBJ is asking how loud you fart. That it depends on the one.
Yeah, I'm not sure there's like a decibel rating or
right decibel. I haven't measured it in decibels. My favorite movie series. Oh, that's a toughie. I'm gonna say it because I feel like I like lots of series, but I think Lord of the Rings gives me all the feels that I want. And, like, they're just brilliantly done.
Yeah.
Just Peter Jackson did such a good job with Middle-earth that I want to go there.
Yeah.
And so that's, to me, yeah. Now, this new Star Wars series, like, could be... Because here's the thing. Star Wars has always been great. But ultimately, I'm still looking at a movie from the 70s and the 80s. It's still got that campiness of being an old movie. But now, new Star Wars, I don't know what that's going to be like.
Yeah.
Because if you can make Star Wars feel like Lord of the Rings felt, as far as, like, feeling like a place that's... I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that's a tough one for me. I mean, I grew up on Star Wars and Star Trek. But it's two very different things. And so, not to mention Star Trek has had a crap ton of films over the years. But, I probably would still have to go with that original Star Wars trilogy, probably as the favorite.
All right. I can take that. I mean, yeah,
it's just one of those things. Even though they're old, I mean, the first one's really old. And even Return of the Jedi came out in 1983, so I mean, like, it's not like it's like a new film. But I feel like Return of the Jedi holds up pretty well.
It does.
So.
I think what I'm excited for is there's like a cheesiness that comes with a movie being old. They're just inherent.
Yeah.
Because, like, in any movie that's older, like, dialogue's not paced the same way anymore. We don't pace dialogue like that in movies.
No.
And so I think what'll be interesting to see is to see, like, the bringing of something that we grew up on into the modern age, into modern delivery styles. Like that's what I'm excited about. Because when you go back, like, the guy who played Obi-Wan was, like, this classically trained actor who, like, was a little too big for his britches to be in Star Wars. And, like, it shows in his performance. Like, he's not bad, but it's very, like... You have this cadence that's very typical of old movies.
Yeah.
And what I'm excited about is to see that brought into the modern day, and I'm excited to see, like, the feel of it brought to the modern day. Like, just that shot, whatever camera they use for that shot of J.J. Abrams standing beside an X-Wing, to me, felt more real than anything I saw in the original trilogy.
Yeah.
Because it looked... real.
Yeah, I mean, well...
It obviously was real.
Yeah, obviously was.
And they were real then, too. But there was, like, there's a campiness to it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I would say it's not my top series, but I mean, like, Indiana Jones, like, the original, like, even the fourth one is still, like, pretty high on my list.
Yeah.
From like, movie series as a whole. But it has that same level of campiness.
Yep, for sure.
Like you're talking about, that older movies just have.
You just have to have it to be there.
And so I'm curious, too, with the new one, how much campiness there is going to be. Because there has to be some, because it's Star Wars.
Yeah, but you say that, but then look at Star Trek. I mean, they, like, really, like...
Yeah, I mean, and he may just take all of it out. It may just be more in that vein. I don't know. I mean, I think either way it could work.
I'm excited either way.
Yeah.
Scale of 1 to 10, how much do I like Minecraft? It fluctuates, buddy. Because sometimes I'm really super into it, and sometimes I'm like, oh, why am I playing this game again? Right now, I'm sitting at about a 7, just because I know I got to get into work mode tomorrow and record Minecraft stuff. But yeah, I mean, I like it. It's a great game that pretty much changed my life. So yeah, it's high up there. Apparently, Elliot Testa says the answer is obviously 12. Some days it is 12. Today is not one of those days. Okay, real quick. Last thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna link it in the chat, and we're gonna play it as we go out. And it won't play on YouTube because you can just go watch the video. But my new parody came out. If you've been living under a rock. And it's out now. Me and Aurelian put it together. Actually, she was really cool and worked with me and got that done. And so that's a parody of Fancy, not the Reba McEntire song.
Just throwing that out there.
That would be funny. But that song is out. It's a parody of Fancy by Iggy Azalea. It's called Crafty. Ori and I did it, and it's doing really well on YouTube. You can also buy it on iTunes, which the link is in the YouTube description there. And that helps me out, man, a lot, actually. And I think it's doing well. I don't know, because iTunes shows like a month behind. But I think it's doing well. Because when I put it on iTunes, it was at the bottom of my list. If you search my name, it's the bottom one. Now when you search my name, it's the top one to come up. So I'm assuming that means it's selling. I don't know if that's how that works.
You would think that.
I would think that's how it would be working. But as we're about to close out, but I'll let the song play when we pull the logo back up as we tear down things here and stuff. But check it out. If you do enjoy it, go check out the video, and you can go buy it if you want to on iTunes. Or if you don't want to do that, there's another link there. You can buy it on a service called Louder. And if you want to buy it there, you can actually tip me. If you want to spend a little bit more, you can tip me, and that helps me out too. Actually, pull that link up too if I can. It's gonna be slow now. Nope. Apparently I'm not going to. But I'll put that link in the description of the video on YouTube too. And you can check that out. Anyway, guys, thanks for coming by. And hopefully we'll see you next week. And in the meantime, enjoy this new song.